The superstars of Fan Control Football Season 2.0 are not only the who's who of celebrity team owners and influencers, not the 21 million live views of our Emmy-nominated broadcast. Across Twitch, DAZN, Fubo, NBCLX, Peacock. Or our highlights that scored over 100 million views. And we can't forget best-in-class sponsors. But the biggest star of Season 2 is our play calling app that allow fans to control the action on the field. Fans pick a team, pick a play, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays to choose from. The play with the most votes is called in real time.
We got it.
This is where video games and live action come to life. And now, Fan Control Sports and Entertainment brings you Fan Controlled Hoops, where fans call the shots. Coming 2023, the future of sports is here, and it's Fan Control. Power to the fans.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah! Welcome to A Vegan Nightmare. The show formerly known as the Fan-Controlled Show, the official companion show to Fan-Controlled Sports and Entertainment. I am your host, Jeff Cannata, that's spelled with 2 N's and 1 T, and I am joined by some of my favorite people on the planet. It's Josh Macuga, it's Patrick Dees, and who was that? Leighton Batiste. I spoiled it.
Good effort, Jeff. Good, solid effort. Really across the board. Yes.
Special guest Leighton Batiste joining us for the whole show. Hey, Leighton, how are you?
I'm good. How are y'all today?
Doing all right.
Living the friggin' dream.
It's that fun moment right before every show when I realize all of the dumb shit that we said last show and that we're named something stupid like Vegan Nightmare. It's the best. It's the best. It's my favorite moment every week.
I think it's a great name. Again, if you are watching live with us on Twitch, you can decide what the show will be named. Every single week, we let you control the show. It is fan controlled. So you can decide what you think the show should be. Throw it up there in the chat. At the end of the show, we'll put up a poll of our favorites and you vote. Whatever you vote on is what we're called. That's why we're called the Vegan Nightmare. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. We let you get through it, Jeff. I was trying to get the like our overlay of our thumbnail because I got it from Jess Samola. I forgot to download it before we went. Things were going crazy, and it's pretty good. It's Jeff eating a bowl of like noodles, and it's just us as the vegan noodles. Jess Samola, hell of a job.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I need to see that too. Freddie Airmail in the chat, strong first silo across the bow, says good Jeffert.
Good
Jeffert.
That was a terrible Jeffert.
No, it was pretty. That's fantastic.
I was so excited about our special guest, and I messed it all up. Anyway, how's everybody doing? I'm evidently in the staring in the barrel of a tornado that's coming my way. So if you see me checking my phone, it's to see if I need to evacuate because
is Bill Pullman there?
That's a Twister reference.
Yeah,
that was
the
for
first,
people at home.
Bill Pullman was here.
He just knocked on your door.
Yeah,
like I'm the early warning alert system.
And what's her name from Mad About You? What's her name from Mad About You? She's here too.
Bonnie Hunt. Helen Hunt.
Oh, yeah, Helen Hunt. She's she's in Star Wars and she has the Holdo maneuver, right? Where it goes, this is ridiculous. Do you remember that she
that's not her.
No, it's not.
You're talking about what's her name from Jurassic Park?
Yes, correct. I'm just conflating.
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern. Yeah, conflating 90s action stars. It's not good. Right. I do love the hold up maneuver though. You're like in the evacuation path. Like when you letting people know, or like Jeff mentioned that there was a tornado potentially in the vicinity. I thought that was like something that would be like around in your state, not like you need to leave your home.
We're going to find out. Somebody just sent me a picture from the next town over, and it is a horrifying image of a tornado. And also softball-sized hail, potentially. So
put your car in your garage.
It's already there. Yeah, it's already there. It's a little
Do you have a basement to go down into and hide under?
I'm in the basement. This is where I record from.
Anywhere. You're good.
Yeah. When my brother moved to Arkansas, he called me the first time. He's like, yeah. They sound off this tornado warning and everybody scatters and we were just like out in the yard. He's like, we know what to do. So we just like Went
Dude,
inside.
so I know that feeling, but very, very different scenario. That just flashed on this when you mentioned the whole like just caught out in the yard. So I was, some folks know, I grew up very Mormon. I served in LDS mission, and I was in Merida, Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula, middle of nowhere, very remote, 2 years time of my life. But I waited for. Go ahead.
Any of those all-inclusive resorts there? They got like
It was awesome. I was just drunk for 2 years. It was an incredible way to grow up. No, I was out spreading the good word of the Lord out in the middle of nowhere, Mexico. But I waited for the visa to go to Mexico in Monrovia, California, which is a little outside of LA, which sounds like normally a pretty safe place. And I spent a month or 2 months there just forgetting all the Spanish that I learned. I went to Mexico with one phrase. I knew how to say no tengo tocadiscos, which means I don't have a record player. And I waited for 2 years for somebody to ask me if I had a record player so I could go, no tengo tocadiscos. No tengo but anyway, so we were walking down this stretch of sidewalk, and a car pulled down this way and started yelling at some guys across a fence, and then just opened fire. So we're between here and the car, and then they returned fire, but it was like 7 or 8 shots. Everybody else is on the ground, and I'm just like pop, 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 and I'm just looking around, pop, pop, and I'm just like, yeah, exactly. It was like realized the shootout had ended by the time I had got. Maybe it was the last one by the time I finally got down on the ground.
You have a longer way to go than most.
It's true. It was a long way down.
It was probably the desert, so you don't need camouflage in the desert because you're white like the sand.
I'm good in Antarctica.
Look, shout out to Freddie Airmail in the chat. Jeff and I were going to talk about this. We were waiting for the first person to say it. Quantez Stiggers, the 5th highest rated defensive back in the CFL Week 2.
Let's go.
Had an interception, had a few tackles. He's the legend. He's got it tattooed on his arm. So
amazing.
If your tattoo says it, you gotta be it.
FCF family, come on,
yeah. Come on. And also, Dees, a heads up: the next time you're in a shootout, run.
It's not like I was in the shootout. I wasn't like returning fire. I was just standing there with my little shirt tied, the short sleeve shirts, and just be like derp a derp. It's not. It's
like one of those videos you see of people walking through like Oakland, and people are just firing at each other in the street, and people are just like going in and out of a convenience store. Like, is nobody going to do anything about this?
Dude, I took an Uber out to go meet Marshawn at his restaurant in the middle of Oakland, and the guy gave one of those. You sure that's where you're going? You sure that's where you want to go? When I got in the Uber, and I was coming straight from the airport, so I literally got out of the Uber with my suitcase in the middle of this Oakland neighborhood. It's not great. I love Marshawn Lynch.
I'm going to be distracted this entire show. There's thunder going on like right out that window right there, and
protect your
family.
People are
just throw up the bat signal. Just throw it up. We'll go. Just go.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No, I want to do this. I'd rather think about this than that. But
if you have to evacuate, what are you taking with you?
Yeah, that's a great
question.
Oh,
I mean, I guess my kids.
Top 5.
Okay.
What else do I evacuate? I don't know. I don't have anything. I don't have anything I care about.
Anything. It's like that scene in Knocked Up when he just runs out during the earthquake with his bong. Jeff's wife's like, and you got a bong?
I thought you were going to have a limited edition AT-AT from Empire Strikes Back. It's the Lego version that you would run out with.
Probably something I have in here. I have some old journals from college that I would like. I probably should keep those. That's about it.
What?
People used to say, pictures, but now pictures are all digital. It's in the cloud.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And guess what's also in a cloud? Your house during a tornado.
Dude, it is really loud outside. It's very loud outside, guys. I'm not joking. It's loud.
I uploaded my home to the cloud.
Literally. Prefab.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. You're handling it well.
Thanks. I don't think that's true, but I
Jeff just comes down with the kids, and now they're on the show together today.
Everybody's going to be down here in a second. No, but the whole family's going to be in the background, just
incredible.
And I'll be like, so sports. My family
just favorite sports smells.
Get in the basement, Jeff, says Astrophysical Anomaly. He's in the basement already. Crazy.
I'm in the basement. I am in the basement. That's the thing. My family's going to join me down here. It's going to be like foreground, delightful sports podcast. Background, Diary of Anne Frank.
His family's huddled in the background. Yes. Ruthless Cutie, can you change your background to an open field and pretend you're blowing away?
I don't know if that would
Two on the
help.
nose. It wouldn't help.
Well, Patrick, do you want to lead this off and talk about the Sports Business Journal article that was released this
Yeah. A big bit of, I think it's news, but I think it was perceived as news, and we didn't kind of relate to it as much. So what happened was we get pinged by a lot of the mainstream sports media to kind of get typical updates. We've got relationships with Sportico and Sport Business Journal and those types of folks. And the SBJ swung by and said, "Hey, look, we're interested in kind of hearing the latest on what we're doing." And so in the spirit of keeping that relationship alive and talking a little bit about kind of how our model has changed, so I'll give you an review that went live. I don't know what 2 days ago, and I think there was I don't know how would you qualify the reaction to it, Josh? It was on a spectrum. It was a myriad of different types of reactions.
Yeah, very mixed bag. Like here, I bring it up because Metal Crypt 89, a very scary name.
Yeah.
So is fan controlled football dead? No, that
No.
the article. Like I got a text from a buddy that was like, "Hey, sorry to hear about your job." I'm like, I still have one. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, completely.
And so the Sports Business article was like, they're pivoting. I think Grant said it best in Discord a couple weeks ago. He says like, hey, if we wanted to play a third season of football right now, we would, but then we wouldn't have anything else ever. It would be like a farewell tour. And then after Elton John got off stage, they shot him. Like he wouldn't even have a chance to do another tour. Like, I know it's a farewell tour, and they say that in tours a lot. And then 2 years later, they're like, guess what? Farewell was a joke. We're back, baby. Rolling Stones. We're 85 years old, but we can still kick ass. So, go ahead.
So sorry. No, I think, look, they were going to run a story about us that wasn't entirely accurate. So again, we sat down with them, and I think they didn't do a good job of explaining the future of fan controlled sports entertainment. I feel like all they said that we're licensing our tech. They forgot to talk about kind of the rest of what our model is, rather than we're working with like major sports league to develop new versions that will be fan controlled in addition to our owned and operated leagues, right? The takeaway for most people was, look, we're licensing our tech. That is true. The goal has always been to have fan control sports be a 365 ecosystem. And in order to do that, it just doesn't scale to make our own golf league and make our own racing league and so yes, is it going to make sense in some scenarios? Yes. Football, for example, although we're tweaking that model, we still, the vision for this is still a mix of owned and operated leagues, football, hoops, potentially some other things. And throughout the course of the year, do fan control versions with major leagues, the PGA, NASCAR, F1, all of these these to do fan controlled versions of that. So there's something for everybody to interact with in the ecosystem over the course of the year, right? And to build fan controlled versions of their sport, which are fast paced, short games, direct access, celebrity owners, like lean forward experiences. And because what we did in season 1 to season 2, with the help of fans, people here, was an unmitigated success. I mean, nearly 30 million people tuned in to watch those games of football. Like, we proved the ability to draw eyeballs, to retain those eyeballs, for them to engage and interact, because nobody called one play. If you called one, you called 57. There was no middle ground. And so when you look at those metrics, and then also our ability to attract a true a Gen Z engaged audience, I tell you what, MLB wants that. The NFL wants that. NASCAR wants that. PGA wants that. We have this really coveted demo, and most of these traditional leagues are dinosaurs and they're aging out. And so I think that what this, I'll just say this and would love to take some questions about it. There was no real news in this. We've talked about this on the show a lot, about looking at doing future, partner sports. The one piece of news was in this article was talking about fan control football. So it's season 3. We very recently had decided to punt that to 2024, although there's no kicking. We punted it. I know. I don't know. Just the minute it came out, it was
throw from the other end zone.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. Because we are changing the model there too, right? So capital allocation climate has been a challenge, and people aren't investing in something that's very capitally intensive. So in order to continue with fan control football, we're just changing the model a little bit, where we still bring that same game, that same fast-paced, lean-forward experience with celebrity owners, but have more traditional style ownership from ownership groups, not unlike you would in the NFL or other places, where you buy into a team and then you're responsible for the operating expenses of that team. That's it. So, and we're out, actively selling teams, working on a 2024 season. So that's still coming. It's just a little further out. And in the interim, we're going to have several events leading up to that throughout the course of this year, coming into 2024, where we're playing fan control football again. And do I love it? No, it's a huge bummer for myself and the rest of the team. We want football. I miss it. I'm missing it badly right now. I'm very much jonesing for that. But in order to make sure that we still are around and exist for fans and for the people who work here and everything else, that it was necessary for us to continue in this manner. And I'm happy to, as always, want to be radically transparent with it. So I'm excited to talk a little bit about it. I know people have a lot of questions and what that means for football and the ecosystem and their what they've accrued for the first couple of seasons and what that means for them. So I'm, happy to answer some of those questions and want to take some live. And I know we had some come up in Discord just now.
I've got Discord ones to get to. I want to get to some of these live ones too, because they're very good. And
great.
For a lot of our fans that are come in every week, and we appreciate all of you very much. Treyas13 says, read on Discord something about fan controlled fishing. Was that a joke or?
Not a joke. Okay, so this is dead serious. Our phone's been ringing off the hook since the end of season 2. We've taken phone calls from most of the major leagues, and again, I don't have anything to announce just yet, but including Major League Fishing, saying, "Yo, how do we fan controlize our sport? How do we modernize it? How do we reinvent it for the digital age?" And so, yes. So I think what Grant put in the Discord was, we took a very interesting call from Major League Fishing. They're super excited about. Now, that's not a league opportunity, but maybe that is a version of whatever their broadcast looks like, where fans have some input. And I think every fan wants that. Like, am I into fishing? No. But if I were, would I want a fan control version of it? You're damn right I would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so there's an opportunity there. And so that is, I know it sounded like a joke, because for years we've always said, like, if you were going to, what should the next fan control sport be? And I know that sounds like one of those jokes, fishing, but there's a world in which, it's not going to be for everybody, but the folks that it's for, it's really going to be for,
I want to give a shout out to our buddy. Sorry, real quick, Jeff. I want to give a shout out to our buddy Metal Crip 89. He says, "I'm in a wheelchair and love metal music. LOL." That's why his name's Metal Crip. Then
badass.
He comes down and he says, "You're welcome." I said, "Sorry, thanks for the clarification." He says, "You're welcome. I was sad when I saw the season was halted because I love the concept. As a disabled dude who loves football and can't play, calling the plays and building points really made me happy." Boom. So there you go, Dees. Like that's the entire model, is giving voice to the people that can't play, that can't coach, that want to be in the game.
Yeah.
And I cut you off, Jeff. Go ahead.
Well, now it's going to seem really inappropriate, this joke that I'm going to say now.
It's never stopped you before.
It's true. It's not going to stop me now either.
No.
With regard to the fishing thing, my understanding is that Josh has been working on fan-controlled catfishing.
Yes.
Where you fan control pretending to be someone you're not on the internet.
Jeff, I look great with my thumbnail as Brad Pitt.
It broke me.
A handsome, square-jawed fella from the Midwest, just hacking down corn cobs, and I don't know. I lost.
The fans decide which ab pic you should post.
Oh, yeah. I only got one ab, Jeff.
You got to feature it over and over again. Chase basically in the chat saying, "I'm not a fishing fan, but I could see the possibility of sponsoring some fishers and/or athletes with different types of sports." So I think
it's Chase basically said, "My concern about the idea of involving separate leagues within the FCSE is the focal point would be the branding draw. I am hopeful though, but views doesn't necessarily dictate success financially." I would wait. It has branding as the focal point. I think that what people want is constant engagement across any links. And hey, guess what? Maybe one sport isn't for you, but other sports will be. I mean, you don't go to a menu and like, "Welcome to our restaurant. Here's dinner."
Right.
That's it. You just get
Although
dinner.
It sounds kind
That's
of
what
nice.
I tell my kids, though.
Here's dinner.
We don't make things to order here in the house.
John Gary in the chat says, "Do you have anything that you can talk about regarding the future of FCF?" No, just that I mean, look, that we are full steam ahead at it. Like we're out there, Jerry Cruz, former commissioner of the AFL, is kind of leading that charge in pulling together like really powerful ownership groups that are, again, celebrity centric, again, so we can continue our model, but also, have savvy operators that can run teams in the league. And so like, we're still planning on playing early 2024. And I, for one, can't wait. We had a lot of questions in the Discord about, well, what about the existing 8 teams? The idea is that they stay. Like, again, we've got existing fan bases. We're all super passionate about it. I would be devastated if I never got to see the Glacier Boys play again. The idea is all of that comes with us. And if anything, we're just augmenting those 8 teams and then selling some new franchises as well so that folks have an opportunity, again, that are kind of operating them themselves. And I think that to me is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I can imagine if I'm a fan of anything, if things get delayed and I don't get all the information, I can feel a little nervous, and I can totally understand that feeling. I've been that fan in other situations before. But I would say if you are in that position now, if you're watching this and you're worried about the future, I would say take solace in one fact. We're here.
Right.
Correct.
We're doing this right now. Yeah. We wouldn't be here if there was nothing that's being built towards. We wouldn't be sitting around talking, maintaining a presence, having this show every week if there wasn't more stuff coming. So take solace in that at the very least. We can't tell you everything, but at least we're here,
It's very true. Freddie on the chat also says, in partnerships with different leagues can give us a spectrum of degrees of fan control. Yes. Yeah, I think that's the point. I mean, I think we've got, professional game developers on staff here, and folks that are really passionate about these sports, that where we're trying to build mechanics that are engaging, that if you know the sport, that it's like, that allows you to go deep in it. And if you don't, that it's still really accessible for new folks. So, I think I couldn't tell you specifics on kind of what those fan mechanics are for fishing just yet, but I feel good about the team that we have that are building those, so it feels natural to the sport and it doesn't feel forced, and something that's exciting for fans of the sport and hopefully welcoming to new fans of it. Sorry, cut you off, Josh.
Yeah, no, agreed. Leighton, you got something?
Yeah, I had to make sure I got this reference right. Not to sound like Bruce Lee, but I look at us like water. Like we can flow into any sport that we want, and I think a lot of our fans are fans of multiple sports. So I think like one thing that I see in the chat is everyone's like, okay, well, hold on. Well, does this mean when you say NASCAR, what kind of NASCAR is it? Well, what about fan controlled wrestling? Like, I think this is what we wanted from our fans the entire time, right? Like, think of as many sports as possible we can apply ourselves, and let's go after it. And I think that's what we're doing.
As somebody that's working very hard behind the scenes on the gameplay of fan controlled golf and the updated gameplay in hoops and gameplay in football and how your fan IQ will be tabulated in these new sports. Not only will it just be like, hey, I answered the most things, I did the most things, I get the most points. There's going to be a whole new point structure so that the leaderboard has a chance to change throughout the season, right?
Yeah.
There's more points being assessed on different interactions, and when the app is up and running and we can do some stuff, there's going to be smaller events that we're going to be able to broadcast and you guys are going to be able to just interact with on a smaller basis. And I think that gives you more than just every week having like mild website votes, right? As fun as those were, they were just there. Woody the Duck says, is Hoop still looking at 2023 or is that pushed to 2024? Dees.
There are so many good questions in the chat right now. You guys are absolutely bringing it. So let's hit as many as we can. So no, we are targeting 2023 for Hoops. So the idea is that we're playing that this season, and we'll have details on that really soon. Metal Crip 89, was crypto and NFTs the fall off, was that a major reason for the issues? It was not. So really had no material impact on the state of the kind of the macroeconomic state of the union, if you will, right? Like, again, what we raised off of the NFTs was largely more around, yes, our ability to monetize the base, but it was also, we're really enamored by the technology. It's a fraction of the money that we raised in order to fund the operations of this league. And so, that is we were not one of those companies that hitched their entire future to the state of the crypto industry. We love digital ownership. I think Web3, in a lot of ways and shapes is the future of the internet, but no, that didn't impact us in any material way. It wasn't great for us because a lot of our major investors are, kind of giant Web3 companies, but that was not why we're in the position that we are. That's kind of a global state of the union.
And Woody the Duck also adds in there, will my ballers come into play for points for other sports?
They sure will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the plan is to continue we're going to triple down on both the ballers and future NFTs to make sure they've got utility in our ecosystem. So yes, that market's way down, but we still believe in it. And there are a lot of people out there who bought ballers, and we want to make sure that they are, that they have additional utility across our entire ecosystem. So many good questions.
Woody the Duck also saying, so 8 teams staying? So an expansion? LOL.
I think we're going to have to, yes, 8 teams are staying. We'll have to see, I think, again, what it's like selling those existing 8 and what's that like on, but I think we're targeting between 8 to 12.
There you go.
Yep.
Let me get to some of these Discord questions.
Here I love it.
Discord question. First one comes from go ahead.
I was just gonna say, last thing I want to say about the model is, look, we are really taking a page out of the DraftKings model, right? Yeah. Those companies, their biggest revenue and it's where their biggest spend is during the course of the NFL season, right? But the minute the NFL season is, they don't shut the lights off in the app and say, "See you next year," right? Mm-hmm. They just don't. But so once the Super Bowl madness, and they go right into March Madness, and then the Masters, and then the NBA playoffs, and so again, we want this 365 ecosystem. It's not just a season of football and then a year later a season of football.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as somebody that lives and dies by DraftKings, I can tell you there's always something to do. It's the only reason I even watch baseball, because I'm like, let's see what, how my DK lineup's doing tonight in baseball. I mean, I think like 35 lineups in the US Open. But
35?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Like, I don't know, 140 bucks, and I only spent like 7. See, that's like the cool thing about DraftKings is that you can spend a butt ton of money and win a little bit of money.
Yes. Yeah. It's true.
Let's get to Discord. Metal Crip 89. We'll get to your slam ball question in a bit.
Very excited about slam ball. I'm a big fan. Know those guys very well.
As somebody that broke most of his fingers trying to recreate slam ball with his brother and neighbors, I can tell you I'm very excited about slam ball.
I can't wait.
All right,
I'm so excited about it.
Nerd E, with the coming revisions and updates to how FCSC functions, will those of us with FCF accounts be continuing those in the new ecosystem, or are we starting fresh?
Continuation, baby. You're still the king of the fans, Nerdy. Yeah, obviously you're keeping the progression. We know how hard people worked for that, so that, and then you not only continue with your existing fan progression, but it's going to work across all different sports. So there'll be, so you'll continue to progress no matter what you participate in.
And it won't be as easy to stay on top of the game. I'll just say that much, because there's going to be a lot more gameplay involved in hoops and in a lot of these other sports, and the engagement that goes along with it. I think that's a key update to a lot of the gameplay.
Well, I think the other thing that we're looking at, I'd be really interested to, I think I'm allowed to talk about this. This is why you watch the show, right? Because I just say stuff I'm not sure I'm supposed to say. One of the things that we're looking at was like in season 2. So opine, let me know if you think this sounds like a cool thing or not. One of the things we did in season 1 and 2 was like, look, you chose a team and you were hard locked to that team. I was a Zapper. I was a Glacier Boy. All of your decisions were around that team, and you leveled up as a fan. I really like this idea of, what if I had, I've been playing a lot of Diablo. I rolled my main account, happens to be a barbarian, but I also want to roll a rogue, right? So how's this idea where like I main Glacier Boys, right? I'm calling and I level that up the most, but I also have if I want, I can play the Zappers, and I might be a fraction of that progression. That might be a level 2 and I'm a level 30 Glacier Boy, and my weighted decisions are based on my level by team versus just being locked to one team. So I'd be very curious to see what fans think about that. To me, it's something we're having discussions about that right now. I absolutely love it, right? Because I'm going to participate for a lot of different teams again, and your account will always be associated with your main. So like, that will surface that you're a Zappers first and foremost, but like, you want to call it Glacier Boys, play as you can.
Yeah. Freddie Emerald says, on that DK note, is that to say that some leagues will get flagship treatment and others might feel more like filler in comparison? No. Some things will feel like filler.
So then the filler is the wrong. I mean, it depends on how you feel about fishing. But the fillers, I don't think the right word, right? There are what we are calling partner sports. The tent poles are like owned and operated leagues, stuff, fan control football, fan control hoops, and then these partner sports where we're working with existing leagues. And is the fishing event going to be 8 weeks, 9 weeks? Probably not. It might be a weekend, right? It's something that and depending on how well it does and people's level of excitement, and then we can see if that's something that we want to scale. And it provides, a way for us to scale. It becomes this cash flow positive R&D opportunity that, like, normally I'm not going to spend $5 million to go build out the tech and partnerships and whatnot on fishing without knowing anything about it. But we have a way where we make a little bit of money, can keep the lights on, and then test to see if it's something people are excited about. So yes, there will be different sizes of sports and events, but I don't. Hopefully, there's not filler, because it feels like filler. It's trash, and I want you to tell me about it, Freddie.
Yeah, it's not.
Hey, Patrick, something occurred to me. I'm sure you've already thought this through, but this idea of having mains and alts is cool in video games, but I worry that there may be like gaming the system in the sense of, a bunch of fans of one team can make an alt for another team and try to throw the game in some way or influence the game negatively in some way to try to progress their main team instead of, I don't know. I'm sure you've thought that through, but it seems like
yeah, I mean, so yes, we're a lot of spirited debate about that right now, Jeff. So like, I think one of the things that we do, like in football, if you think about the plays that were surfaced to you, one of the plays was not like put in your grandma or kick it backwards, right? They were all.
But I still think the spirit of that, if there's a bunch of genuine fans and there's a bunch of fans that are trying to be disruptive,
totally.
It might feel not good. So
I
just want to think about it.
I know, I think you're right. And I think that's been part of the debate internally. And I think we've got to make sure that it feels true to, and that was the thinking about locking it in season one. So I totally get it.
I'm going to shout out Jay Spacey real quick. I think we should run fan votes on what is actually considered a sport, because golf is teetering on the border of yes and no.
Totally agree.
I was waiting for you to see that one.
Sir, very good point. Yeah. You can shut your pie hole. Golf. I would like to. You know what? I'm not even going to get into it. If that's the argument you're making about golf. Also, if you look at our logo, it's fan-controlled sports and entertainment. However you find entertainment, we would want to fan control it. Reality shows, game shows, music, cooking, Dees' nightly jog. Run faster, you big, tall giraffe. Hey, Jeff.
I'm already running as fast as I can.
Run into the tornado. We want to see you fly. Get up into the cloud.
I wish you guys could hear the noises coming out of the window next to me.
Yeah,
this is just a really great mic, and it has good fall off. But you don't not hear crescendo of thunder.
John Gary in the chat. What happens to FCH hoops? FCH hoops. ATM machine.
FC Hoops.
It's still coming. It's coming this year.
I guess that would be F.
Apparently, Metal Crip 89 said that at the CFL game, they said, "Where did Contest Stickers play before?" He played in some league where the fans called plays. That's what they said in the CFL. Way to go! Way to do your research, CFL. Yeah,
so nice for the Canadians.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, bud. Like he was in some league down in the States there, bud, where it was mostly fans that called the plays. And there was no like pucks on the field, right? But Contest Stickers there, bud. He made a bunch of interceptions. He was on a couple of different defenses there, bud. They didn't have Molson sponsoring the league there, bud. And we watched some Letterkenny, and he's doing his thing up here in Toronto.
Great show, by the way.
Yeah, great one. Do you think, John Gary? Do you think fan controlled sports and entertainment might involve other cities in the future? Yes,
1,000%.
Yes. If I have to, I love Atlanta. When I get there, I get to see my buddy Leighton. We get to hang out. But if I have to do that cross-country flight one more time, I'm going to lose my mind.
My favorite part about season 2 was like I knew the crew.
Yeah.
Jenny, how are you? Yeah, I'm headed back.
Back to Atlanta. Here we go. Let's do. We haven't even got to any of the Discord questions, and we have 19 minutes left in the show. Here we go. Okay, our buddy Nerd E says, with the coming revisions and updates to how FC. Oh, we did that one already. Peanut said Grant Cohen explained the new FCS partnership model very well to us here in Discord. With that model, he mentioned that this fall FCS would go back live with short form events for the new versions of fan controlled sports. Can you explain to us what those potentially look like? I'm guessing like like a weekend of sports, basically.
Yeah, I think that's right. If you think about like what Grant had talked about in the Discord about like, let's use fishing as the example. I'm not committing to fishing and I'm saying that's happening, but you can think about how that becomes a short form weekend version of whatever this fan control fishing experience would be.
And it's for an answer there, Dees.
All right. Well done. Just reeling it in. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, does that make sense? Like, again, it's shorter form. It's dipping our toe into it. It's with robust mechanics and stuff to engage both new and fans new and old. But I think it is those shorter kind of weekend type events.
Yeah, and I think it's like, all week long, we'll be doing tons of different content leading up to the event, and then the week after, all kinds of stuff post-event. So it'll be a full 2-week experience depending on the sport. Maybe 3-week, maybe 4-week. Hoops could be 5 weeks of like lead up and post and everything. There's just a lot that we can do around these special event sports that, it's a ton of fun.
And they lend themselves to a lot of like pre-decisioning, right? Like involving the fans in decisions going into the event. So it's like, I don't think voting is going to all necessarily just be kind of real-time decision making. It's like, how do we strategize coming into it?
It's kind of like when my wife goes to a restaurant. She looks at the menu online 2 hours before and has decided what she wants to order before she sits down. Me, on the other hand, I like to be surprised. Get there, get the menu, presented in front of me, get a martini, start like, a Bavarian pretzel with cheese sauce. Oh, that's an appetizer I can get behind. Like that kind of
man.
Stuff, you know what I mean?
I am your wife. I'm telling you, I know exactly what I sit down. I'm like,
you're a monster.
You like a menu? I don't need one.
Durf abides. How does all this FCF realignment affect co-owners if it goes to a franchise model?
Co-owners. Define co-owners?
I think you mean like buying when you bought into the ownership of the teams. You bought your stock into the.
Oh yeah, I mean, really nothing. I mean, if anything, the valuation on teams will probably be going up, so it doesn't affect folks that bought into those teams. I mean, again, I don't know where the valuation goes here, but again, they're buying into those same entities that you already have like ownership in, and so I think that the hope is that we continue to, over the course of multiple seasons, add a ton of value at the team level. So obviously, it's in everybody's best interest that we continue to grow those valuations. But yeah, it doesn't change. No, nothing's required of you. It is literally the same entity that they're buying equity into.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Night J rate. Are the plans to have FCF this year? No. We got this in. Yeah. All right. We answered those ones already in the chat. Sorry, Night J rate, but you got your name mentioned. You're great. Woody the Duck. If you were offered by a different company to go on a submarine to the Titanic for free, would you go? So it's not the company that is currently in some rough situation. Would you go if it was like seemed like it was a little more like it was the James Cameron one?
Yeah, that dude's invincible.
Yeah, I'll go anywhere he tells me to go.
Me too.
Other than that,
Me too.
Short of that, if it's Gabe Newell,
I'm half Navi. If it's Gabe Newell and he's got 42 knives on him at any given moment. It's a deep cut. No, I probably don't.
You said that Gabe Newell is the only other person that like owns a submarine that could go that deep. You hear that?
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, they're like, there's only one other person that owns a submarine that could go that deep, and it's Gabe Newell of Steam. And it's like, what? Gabe's sitting there like, yeah, I have so much money, I don't know what to do with it.
Oh man. Okay.
Was it
Nerdy wants to know, since we may have new owners for 3.0, any names you are reaching out to or names reaching out to FCSE asking to buy
for season 3?
Yeah.
It's going to be a mix again, so that we want the focus to be like well-known names and whatnot, but also, we are bringing in more traditional. So there'll be that healthy mix of celebrities and content creators and gamers that can kind of give the team its persona, its swagger. But we're also talking to kind of traditional ownership groups that understand kind of what those the OpEx requirements are. They know how to run a team, and there's a mix of those. So yes, plenty of new folks, and I don't know if that makes any sense, but team composition is going to change a little bit from just pure influencers and celebrities to a mix of those folks along with like operationally savvy, institutional money type folks.
I will say too is, and Leighton and I were talking about this the other day on Back to Work, which you can watch Mondays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, is that with the invent of owners that care a lot more about the teams and are way more active in the teams, you, the fans, will get to suggest things like trades and watch them happen. Like you'll actually get to get in with the owners and actually make changes and do some awesome stuff with your team, as opposed to only one trade last year, which may or may not have gone in the favor of the team that was trading them. It was there's a lot of people like, hey, I really want to talk to somebody, like I want to talk to Steve Aoki about Aoki, but nobody can get in touch with Steve Aoki because he wasn't that kind kind There's a lot of difference between, he's not a human.
He's ascending to another plane of existence.
Correct.
At the time.
Correct. Right. What do you duck? Apes had that. You're right. The Apes did have that.
Yep.
And I think with this model, there's a lot of things that fans can be able to enact and engage and do things in a franchise model that maybe you weren't able to do before, or we just didn't have the bandwidth to do in general, or the ownership approval to do. Okay. Dees, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd agree with it. Two thumbs way up.
Any chance for 2.0 cards like we did for 1.0? Like
there's a chance. I wasn't close, so that's just me not knowing what we're doing. I'm not a big card guy, so I wasn't part of the first initiative. I didn't even get season 1 cards because I just missed the boat on it.
Literally never sent me a card.
I just would never do that.
Not a birthday card.
Nope, definitely not a Christmas card.
card.
Nope. I don't know.
He's just not a card guy.
I'm just not a card guy. I know. Pick a card, any card. And that Gambit in the X-Men arcade game. No, I don't. I don't know.
Okay. This is our final question from Discord. Realistically, for fans tuning into this show, should we actually be expecting news on FCSE every week? Can you give us a level set on expectations for how this show is meant to be perceived by fans? Some see this as FCSE updates and news, and I think it's instead more of a weekly show with FCSE personalities and FCSE fan engagement. Don't expect the only topic to be FCS related and or every week a new FCS info dump. I think I kind of talked full circle into answering his own question.
Yeah, I think that second thing he said is accurate.
Yeah.
We're hanging out, we're getting ready. When there's news to talk about, we talk about news. But when there's not, we're just having a good time and all congregating around a common fandom and a common enjoyment. I think that's nailed.
I don't think this show has ever changed.
Yeah, it was always that is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we'll still have news here. I mean, and I think what this show allows to is not only kind of the vector to get new news, but it allows us to go deeper, right? Like, again, once there is news, we can really talk about it and get in the weeds with fans in real time about it versus just being the only place news about everything else that's going on in breaks.
Dare to Knife says, Kenny Pickett to the FCF. Am I right, Josh? No, Kenny Pickett to the Super Bowl. Dare to Knife. Thank you.
Leighton groans.
Woody the Duck says, is Ohtani the best baseball player ever?
Yes.
Not yet, but he is getting there.
I think the answer is yes. If you lead your team in literally every stat that can, like, every stat,
it's freak.
It's
freak.
Wild. It's wild. Yeah. It was kind of like me back in like the 9th grade. I mean, I was a stat king. Most burritos eaten at hot lunch on a Thursday. I mean, destruction. Most deli sandwiches on a Monday. Boom, shakalaka. Most bagel hash and cheese at a breakfast. I mean, I was unstoppable, Jeff. And when I mean unstoppable, I mean just mostly an eating thing.
People are like, usually you get a guy who specializes in burritos, but
no,
this Macuga guy can do it all.
Bring in the burrito specialist. What do you mean he does everything? When I was growing up, I used to always want just like magical stat machine that if I could just ask the stat machine, like, how many cars have I passed on the road versus cars that have passed me? Or number of steps I've taken in my life. Like, if I could ask any weird range, like, how many calories have I ingested lifetime? You know what I mean? Like, I always thought that would be amazing to know those things. And so, like, when you were talking about being all your specialists, I flashed back on wanting to really deep dive on all the...
Good.
Yeah, be fun.
I mean, we're going to probably be able to like start injecting chips into our eyeballs so that can keep track of all those stats. Like, how many times did a girl look at me and think I was cute based solely on her chip? Back and forth. Then I can tell my wife, babe, I still got it.
Yeah. 92 this week. Come on.
Hey, yo, I still got it.
Babe, look at my eyes. Look, the chip says I got it.
It's just one wonky eye, Jeff. Just one.
You got two.
Woody the Duck
Eyeball
says
chips.
top 5 forms of potatoes: easy, russet, and everything else.
I think they meant like French
Fries,
or-
hash browns.
Yeah.
Russet.
Russet. He's going hard on Russet.
Going hard.
Lord, russet. Okay. Do you guys want to do your favorite sports smells? Talking about potatoes.
Dewey.
Okay.
Can I got a confession.
No, you didn't.
I don't have much of an olfactory sense. I can barely smell anything. So when this came up, I'm like, that's a nightmare because it all smells the same to me. I have some ones that like I've got answers, but I just I mean, I literally asked in the pre-show if cocaine was a smell. I don't know what I'm gonna answer here, so it's not gonna be this is not gonna be my best work. Is my point?
Okay.
I
Well,
don't think that was the pre-show.
God damn
The
it!
actual
here we
show.
go. We're gonna do oh god, Yo Griffix. You missed the whole first 55 minutes of the show. What happened? Yeah. Christ almighty.
Luckily, the show is available on demand.
On
Wherever
demand,
you
you
get
can watch it,
podcasts or video anywhere.
Yes. Nothing happened to FCF. We are postponing the season until 2024. We have partner sports coming. We have hoops coming. We have all kinds of fun stuff coming.
Sometimes you weren't here.
Good God.
We talked about it. You weren't here.
I like
Ooh.
this one.
Okay, so Jeff, you ready for the song? Here we go. Here we
Let's
go.
do
Here
it.
we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, it's my favorite part.
Dees loves a list. Dees loves a list.
I love them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for everybody's favorite portion of the program. This is Dees Loves a List. Last week, we talked about our favorite sports sounds, and somebody brought up sports smells. So this week, we'll be doing our sports smells. A early front runner is sports smells, the leather on a new football. Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, that's not bad. That's a not bad one.
All right, Leighton, we're starting with you with your number 5.
You know mine are super specific.
I can't wait.
HBCU football is the smell of cigars and cognac.
Oh,
Every
okay.
Troy
tailgate
Leighton is
smells the
very
same,
good at
Cigars
this.
and cognac.
Yeah.
That's it.
cigars and cognac. Are you allowed to do that in the stands?
It's the tailgate.
Like-
it's the tailgate.
Oh, it's the tailgate. Okay,
Yeah.
tailgate. I like.
Everyone
I like
brings
that.
their own humidor.
Yes. Peanut FCF, a Goodyear tire rubber and racing fuel at a NASCAR race smells like heaven to me. It also smells like a great way to throw up or get super high. Okay, Jeffrey, your number 5 smell.
I had a real hard time not just going all food with this. Real hard time. So
Got
I
some
really
food.
tried. And hey, my son has been doing swim team.
Okay.
Lately.
Some
And
chlorine.
so, like literally tomorrow morning we'll be going bright and early to swim team if the tornado doesn't wipe it all out. But I have to say, swimming pool chlorine, swimming pool smell, pretty great.
Yeah, that's my number 1. You took it.
Is
from
it
me.
really?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm
Sorry. I didn't actually think you'd say chlorine. Sorry to jump in there with that,
I'm
but
sorry.
I could see it.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good.
Jeff, the poll is up. Tell the people what's on the poll.
Oh, the show name poll. No Tango Tocadiscos,
Yeah, I don't have a record player. Please,
Tornado-
that's got to be it.
Tornadoes and Thunder,
Okay.
Jeep Evacuation, Hook, Line, and Sinker, or the current leader, Eyeball Chips.
Eyeball.
Okay.
I'm in.
Okay.
Eyeball Chips.
Okay.
Jeff goes cool. He took my number 1. Dees, did you say your number 5?
I did not. It would be the leather glove of playing catch. Great memories of playing catch with my old man, and just the way that you'd smell the leather. And I was like, I don't know, it just
Well
brings
worn.
back all kinds of. Yes.
You ever put the baseball in it and wrap
Yeah.
rubber bands around it?
Totally. I just like
oil.
Lots of good memories.
Mine is just straight up body odor, like BO, like a strong
Okay.
BO.
Sweat.
You know, like you go into a locker room, it just smells like
Yeah.
BO.
it's
And it
terrible.
just, I love that smell.
Terrible.
It's like, we just
Smells
did
like staph
something.
infection.
Yeah. We
I
all
didn't know what
doing
BO
stuff.
was until one day I smelled my armpit and I was like, oh my God, that's what I've been smelling all these years in an elementary school gym? That's what that is? Our
I can
elementary
do that
school-
too.
Have that? Holy cow. King Khan in the chat. If FCF is moving toward a franchise team dynamic, will the teams be responsible for hiring own staff like coaches and trainers? D's.
Correct. Yes, they will.
Yeah.
That is the model.
Wow.
All right.
That'll be a change.
With a lot of support from a league level, right? Again, we're still implementing our technology, all of those things. They still have to fit into the FCF box. But yes, they're responsible for staffing those things, and we can help provide guidance with that stuff.
Yeah. Wow, you're definitely way grosser than I thought, Josh. Ruthless cutie. I do have a story for you guys later about smells, but it can be okay. My number 5 is Leighton, you're number 4. Number 4.
Yeah, freshly cut football field.
Oh, that's good.
Cut grass, just the dew is on there at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
So good.
golf course has that same smell too.
Yeah, there's gonna be some overlap. Overlap.
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
My number 4 is like a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The
nice.
smell of like a or whatever sports store you ever
Quench gum.
They have like a very specific plasticine smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mix of ball, like basketball, like balls,
Yeah.
and
Balls
clothes and new shoes.
Yeah. It's just all of it. It's all mingling in there.
Yeah. Very good.
Dees, you're number 4.
I go in food. It's a hot dog at a baseball game. I love me a Dodger dog, and it's just like there's just nothing like it.
I think that was gonna be some guys' bigger ones. That was the first tweet I got.
Oh, is that right?
But hey, that's your number 4. That's your number 4. My number 4 is the grill at a halfway house on a golf course. It has that perfect smell of like hamburger, hot dog, and French fry, and it comes out of that fan.
Yeah.
There's an old lady back there being like, "Give me a minute," and she's
Number 32's up.
Everyone smells the exact same, and when you're there, like, oh, that's French fries, hot dogs, and hamburgers all mixed into one grill. Oh, it's so good. And they never clean the grease fryers either. It's just like the same smell for 6 months. Oh, it's so good. So good. Leighton, you're number 3.
The smell of a new cleat, like the inside, just
Oh, yeah.
Cleat.
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 Cleat. Jeff, you're number 4.
3. We're 3. Number 3 is I'm going. I almost went hot dog, but that's the first thing that pops in your head at a ball game is hot dog. I'm actually going nachos. The bubbling.
That's my number 3.
Oh, the bubbling goop of the nachos. Because I tweeted this a long time ago, but I still think it's weird that there's literally a kind of cheese that's not despair. There's a kind of cheese that is called nacho cheese.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's, for me, the cheese I least want to have on my nachos.
Yeah. But
if I'm having nachos, I would prefer literally any other kind of cheese than the one it's named after.
Mm-hmm. But at a stadium, it tastes different, Jeff.
It does taste different. And it smells great. It does smell good.
And in the trunk of my 1987 Toyota Celica, my first car, I spilled an entire crock pot of nacho cheese, and my car never didn't smell like nacho cheese. And on like a hot summer day, it would heat up that old cheese, and you just smelled like nachos.
Old cheese. Here comes old cheese. Old cheese Macuga. The other thing I love about the nacho cheese thing is where the ladle comes in. It like pierces it's a different color there than
oh god. Oh god. Yep.
And then you gotta mix it a little, and then whoop. Yeah. The best thing stadiums ever did was add that second crevasse for cheese. It's the 2 receptacles for cheese, so nachos in the middle, and then 2, so you can dip in this one and leave the nacho in this one and wait till it gets wiggly. You know the wiggly.
Oh, I know the wiggles. Oh, I know the wiggles.
Those are good. Those are ones. All right, Dees, you're number 3.
Would be opening a can of tennis balls when you crack a tennis ball.
Yes.
And I just know what's coming. It's good time. It's right there.
My number 3 was nacho cheese, so I'm just going to put this in there. First beer at a tailgate at 8 a.m. There's nothing quite like it. You're like hungover from the night before, maybe even still drunk. You get to the tailgate. It might even be dark outside a little. You crack it. Oh, what is that? Is that Bud Light?
Man, I can't.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, Coors Light. Ooh, or Miller Light. Or Michelob Ultra.
It's all the same.
I can't.
Shotgun.
All the same.
I can't.
Yes, all that. Yep.
No. Can't day drink.
Leighton, you're number 2.
The random smell of weed at a Falcons game. Because we know it's not supposed to be there, and then it just comes up, and everyone in the section looks around.
All right. Yeah. They're like, they're breathing real deep.
Yeah, there's like,
there's always that comment. Yeah, there's always comment like, oh.
Okay.
All right. I think you find them.
Smells like Otto's jacket.
That's a dirty bird. That's a dirty bird.
Jeff, you're number 2.
Well, Leighton already said it, but it's my number 2. Fresh cut grass. Just
Yep.
literally
So good.
any stadium, any sport, baseball, soccer, football, what have you, grass. Fresh, real grass.
Yeah. Dees, you're number 2.
My number 2 would be a brand new set of basketball shoes that have never been worn. Right when you pull them out of the container, and it's like, oh, there's just nothing like getting a fresh pair of kicks.
Yeah,
gonna ball up.
My number 2 is sliding in like youth baseball and getting dirt in your face, and like you can taste it, and you smell it.
It only smells good if you're safe, though, because if you're out, everything sucks.
It's awful.
It's awful. I agree.
Man, it is. And then there's something about like, you get up, you dust it off, and you can still, it's like that perfect combination of like sweat and dirt, and then like a little bit of big league chew just packed in the back.
So good.
Wait, you're number 1, sir.
This is hard. It'll probably have to be mozzarella sticks at like a baseball park, like the county park.
Yeah.
And that's an underrated park food. Mozzie.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
It
is.
Every time.
It's a banger. Jeffrey, you're number 1.
My number 1 is not at the ballpark. It's not anywhere. It's in my house, and it is wings.
Okay. Okay.
The smell of that hot sauce on a wing coming out of the oven, arriving from the delivery guy. It doesn't matter. Wings on a sports Sunday, sports day, sports night, whatever it is. Give me wings.
Let's go.
You remember being at
really
like
good.
Say that again, Late.
Are you a ranch or blue cheese guy with your wings?
Blue cheese, 100%.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I'll take ranch in a pinch.
Yeah. Ranch is great.
But
Atlanta is the first city I've ever been to where they ask you, do you want ranch instead of blue cheese? Like, it is a blue cheese city. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that about the wings there. I will say there's nothing quite like being at a sports bar and you don't know what to order and you're like, I don't know. And then a wing plate walks by and you're like, I'll have wings.
Yep.
That smell hits you right in the face.
Love
and it's
it.
perfect.
So good.
Dees, you're number 1.
I almost went with very fond memories of like NHL 94 or I don't know, like Super Tecmo Bowl. So the smell of like when you blow a Nintendo cartridge, I almost went with that, but I didn't because this is very specific. A page out of Leighton's book. I took the smell of regret and sadness of the apes at the end of season 2.0 as they lost to the Zappers. It was such a beautiful smell.
Wow.
That is tight.
Very
That's
specific.
tough.
Wow.
That's tough.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Shots fired. Well, my number 1 was chlorine at a high school pool.
Freddie in the chat. Wow. Okay, Dees. God, I love these. I love people hanging out with us. So good. I'm glad we get to do this every week.
What was the winner, Jeff, of the poll?
Oh, you'd think I would have known that. I didn't catch it. I'm sorry. I missed it. Do we know?
Ruthless Cutie, what won? Was it eyeball chips?
I think it was eyeball chips, but I
right.
didn't quite see.
Eyeball chips.
Eyeball chips.
It's eyeball chips.
So that is what we will be called next week because it is fan controlled. And you are the fans and you've decided it. Eyeball chips is what the show will be called next week when we reconvene right here on all the places. Mostly Twitch is where we are live, but you can see us anywhere you get
We're live on YouTube and
or
Facebook.
And
entertainment.
also, I want to say, so we're live on YouTube and Facebook as well. One of the things that I want to say was like, I saw a bunch of questions pop up that they missed the first part of the show or whatever. Don't hesitate to hit me directly. I'm in the Discord. I'm, at DEEZDs. Hit me up in the Discord or wherever. Like we want to make sure we get to all those questions.
All right,
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Before we go out, if they're not eyeball chips, what flavor chip are you choosing? I'm going classic Pringle original lightly salted. Leighton.
Lay's salt and vinegar.
Oh, strong.
I will also go salt and vinegar. I think that is that's my. I mean that or like a Doritos nacho cheese Doritos will be good.
Jalapeno Cheetos. Good night. Arguably the best snack food ever made.
Dang.
So, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Salt and vinegar is so good.
I agree.
So good.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yes, we'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Until then, power to the fans.
Power to the fans.
I got to end this. I'm the one that's supposed to end the thing. Oh, son of a! You